Hey, and welcome back or welcome to the Talks with Bri Podcast. If it's your first time joining me, I'm your host, Sabrina Simmons. Guys, yes, I know what you're thinking. For those of you who are watching this, you're probably saying, Sabrina, I remember about 2 episodes ago, you said that you weren't going to do anymore. Yeah, things change. And what I'm doing is embracing change. But I am back on YouTube, guys. And I just hope that we can just continue this adventure together. But most of all, I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you've been safe. We are here. This week is a solo episode, and I am testing something out on YouTube. If I'm being honest, last week's episode from the Leap of Faith series really inspired me to get back behind the camera. And I think also what encouraged me as well was the fact that I did an intro, an outro, I added music. I was like, who is this person? But I did it, and I feel good about it. So I am going to be trying it out for at least the solo episodes. I will try my best to make sure that they are on YouTube. If they are not recorded via video, then you will be able to hear them wherever you stream your podcast. There's a caveat when it comes to guests, right? So if a guest is they're comfortable being behind the camera, then by all means, we will have that video up on YouTube for you to view and for you to see who I'm talking to. But if they're not comfortable, then you're going to head right on over to your podcast platform and stream the episodes that way. I think I'm going to test it out and see how we go with it. But guys, the Leap of Faith series is chugging along. I am excited. The folks that I've been speaking with are just absolutely remarkable. Their stories are inspiring. They're encouraging. And, it's interesting, right? Some of these people I know, some of these people I've just met, or I'm being somehow kind of reintroduced to them. And I'll explain more in upcoming episodes. But just being able to hear their stories or being able to see a part of them that I have not seen or been exposed to, it's been really eye-opening, because this series and my platform here, what I'm trying to do is to have folks share their stories, right? I want to share the stories of the everyday person, and because it's something that needs to be heard, right? You have so many people living in our lives, we're being exposed to so many people that we see day in and day out, and you'd be surprised at just how either creative or how interesting, or, sometimes you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know this about you. But you would never know if you never had the conversation. And I'm opening my space here as the platform, as the vehicle for that conversation. So here we are. I'm doing the Leap of Faith series. I'm doing the Outside Looking In series. And I just really want to be of service to the folks, to the audience, to myself, and to my guest. So I can't wait for you guys to hear these upcoming episodes. They are truly inspiring. Stay tuned. They are coming, and I'm doing my best, y'all. I'm editing. I'm creating stuff, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying this journey. So stay tuned. We're jumping right into Bri Likes. I like to do my little Bri Likes. I like to give you guys a couple of things that I've been liking throughout the week. But this week has been music. Has there been any surprise? You guys know I love music. And this week I had a couple of songs in my rotation that really kind of just kept me through the week. The first song is called Perfectly Loved by Lamba and Toby Mack. And for those of you that are watching me on YouTube or watching this on Spotify, I keep looking a little bit to the left or right, depending on how you're viewing this, because that's where my notes are. So I want to make sure that I stay on script. So I'm just checking to make sure that I'm going along. But yes, the song is called Perfectly Loved by Lamba and Toby Mack. The second song is called Build a Boat by Colton, Dixon. Both these songs I discovered from listening to the good old radio, okay? They were playing on 95.5 K-Love. So let me tell a funny story. I've always loved 95.5 WPLJ, right? They played like my rock hits and whatever. So I would listen to it. And then one day, I was in the car and I was like, oh, let me turn my radio on because I didn't want to hear I didn't want to hear my playlist, right? Sometimes you just want to hear the good old radio. So I turned on PLJ, what I thought was PLJ, and I heard, hey, welcome to K-Love. And I was like, K-Love? I was like, what is this? So K-Love is 95.5. And I heard a song and I was like, what song is this? So I started listening and I was like, this is interesting. And I was like, oh, I like this song. So I kept the radio on, right? I kept it on that station and I just kind of just listened. And then I heard Perfectly Loved. And I mean, that song touched me so deeply. That song was beautiful. It really just, I don't want to sing the song because, I like to jump into a tune when I'm ready. But I want you to go check it out. Google it, YouTube it, Spotify it, whatever you want to do, Apple Music, whatever the case is, check out Perfectly Loved. And then while you're at it, check out Build a Boat by Colton Dixon. I love that song, y'all. I mean, that just gets me pumped because it's so encouraging. So K-Love's tagline is positive, encouraging, K-Love. And I really enjoy starting my day with K-Love. I'll listen to it when I'm in the car. If I'm going somewhere, I'll just leave it on because you always hear, a song and it's like, man, this really is what I need to hear right now. So I've been listening to it and I've been loving K-Love. So you guys should check that out. The third song is not necessarily a song, but more an artist. And it's my boo, Bruno Mars. I have a Bruno Mars playlist on Spotify and I just really love his voice. That's it. That's really the gist of it. I love Bruno's voice. I remember the first time I heard Just the Way You Are, and I must have played that song on repeat for about 50 times because I was just like, this man's voice is gold. Okay. So I kept, I got to work and I plug in, I'm doing what I need to do. And I just listened to his song. And the playlist that I have are just a bunch of songs that I found to be my favorite songs from Bruno. And his voice is great. And I was thinking to myself this week, I said, if he goes on tour, I'm there. Okay. If he goes, on tour, I'll be there. I won't be at the front seat. I'll be somewhere, maybe somewhere in the middle, somewhere on the left, on the side, but I'll be there celebrating and enjoying Bruno because I have a feeling that he'd probably be a really good performer, right? I know he sings amazing, right? And I saw him at the Super Bowl halftime show that he did, and it was bomb. So I can't imagine being able to experience him live. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So if he ever goes on tour, I will be there. I'll be there. I told you guys I like to do that. But that's been Bri Likes for this week. We are going to jump right into the episode, chugging along. This week's episode, first of all, it's just a quick encouragement, right? The title of this episode is called Remember Your Why. So in last week's episode, I mentioned that God has a sense of humor. In fact, I would say God is the first comedian, okay? There's been so many times that I have... something has happened and I'm like, really? We gonna do this? You gonna play me like that? But it's not necessarily play. But I do believe that God has a sense of humor, right? Because sometimes we think things or we do things and he really has it already planned out and he does what he needs to do. So this week's episode is really an inspiration from last week's episode. I remember in speaking with Katie and she mentioned how uncomfortable she was, while adjusting from being away from home while she was in law school. And there was a moment where she was reminded that, you're not being held against your will. There's the bus, you can hop on it and you can go back to your mama. But you wanted to go to law school and I made a way. So you're complaining about being uncomfortable, but no one's holding you here. And, while we were talking, I had to pause because, if I'm being honest, it's time for the confession. This is my confession. Yes, I'm going to go right into it. For the past couple of months, I've been in a space where all I've been doing is either complaining about the situation or I've been trying to find a way out of the situation. And, I tried to change my perspective. I tried to focus on the positive, but that wasn't working. It's like going through the list of self-help tools, change your perspective. No, that's not working. Let me try another one. Focus on the positive. No, that's not there. Cross it out. And, these things, these tools are supposed to help, and they do for the most part. But what do you do when it doesn't work? What do you do then? I say, remember your why. Okay. Remember why you wanted to do something. While, for the past couple of months, I've been going through and I've been complaining, and I've been trying to find a way out of the situation. About 2 weeks ago, I was either on my way to church or I was on my way or either at home. But I was reminded, Sabrina, why did you want to do this? And I was like, well, I wanted to do it because I wanted to learn this, and I was like, it's like, okay, so you're there. Never said it was going to be easy. Never said that you were going to be liked. Never said that you were going to just have everything fall into your lap. But you wanted to do this because why? And I listed out all the things and all the reasons why I wanted to be in the space that I'm in. And it really made a difference, right? Because even though it's uncomfortable, and even though I may not, I wouldn't say I'm not happy, right? I would say it's an adjustment. Being able to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, or remember why, I wanted to be where I'm at, really helps make a difference. So I want to say to you, remember why you're doing what you're doing, right? Remember why you wanted to take cooking class. Remember why you wanted to go back and get your master's. Remember why you wanted to run a marathon. And I'm always going to take it back to health. But remember why you wanted to work out, right? You look at the muscles and you're like, oh, look at this, but it hurts to do it. But remember why you wanted to do it. And, your why is your reason. Your why is your anchor. It helps you to stay grounded. And when you focus on that, it makes the uncomfortable season more bearable, right? Because it's not going to magically fix the season. It's just going to make it more bearable. And sometimes that's what we need, right? Because you need to just push through the uncomfortableness. Remember why you're doing what you need to do. And I always say, hold your head down and focus. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Keep going. So I say that for you, and I say that for me. Sabrina, remember your why. And I say it to you, remember why you're doing what you're doing. I wanted to just stop and encourage, because when we had the conversation with Katie and when we spoke, it really jerked the nerve with me. And I'm grateful. See, this is the reason why the Leap of Faith series is so important, right? Because I was able to pull from that and learn from that. I wrote down so many quotes from the interviews that I've been doing. And I used them back to kind of remind me of the things of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, or to encourage me when I'm feeling low. We all could use a little encouragement. So I say, remember your why and keep pushing. Okay, guys, this is the end of the episode. I told you it was going to be a really quick one this week, but I really wanted to come in and encourage you guys. And also just talk about the expectation for the upcoming episodes, what you can expect as we grow together, right? I'm growing and learning this platform. You're growing and watching me learn, and you're growing and learning yourself, right? Yeah, you're learning yourself. So thank you all so much for chilling with me. I really appreciate it. I cannot explain to you. Time is priceless. And the fact that you take a moment to listen to the podcast, to watch the podcast, it's really appreciated. So thank you so much. Guys, don't forget to also rate the podcast, because it helps. Share it with a friend. Share this encouragement with someone that you know. If it's not for you, it could be for somebody else. Don't be stingy. Share the wealth. And if you're watching this on YouTube, me, let me get into my YouTuber voice. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video. Not only that, turn on the notification bell. That way you can be notified when I drop a new video. Look at me. Watching all those YouTube videos help pay off because I know exactly what to say. If you would like to share your leap of faith story, yes, I'm opening the platform open to the public. If you would like to share your leap of faith story, or if you just want to say hi, or if you just want to say, girl, listen, remember your why? It helped me. It touched me. Drop it in the comments on YouTube or send me an email at talkswithbri, talkswithbripod@gmail.com. If you want to follow the podcast on social media, you can just hop on over to Instagram. We're at talkswithbri_pod. And that's that. I can't wait for you guys to hear the upcoming episodes of the Leap of Faith series. I can't wait for you guys to hear the upcoming episodes of the Outside Looking In series. And also, I can't wait to share my adventures with you as we go through this thing called life. But the most important thing is, as you go through the week, don't forget to take a moment, remember where you are, be present, be still, and appreciate where you have been. Guys, this is Sabrina signing out. Till next time, remember your why, guys. Bye.